So this is a video reply to Need This Message for the video Secrets Caught Up to Them. I gotta point something out, but what I'm about to point out is not what you probably would thought that I was gonna point out. Alright. I just have to say, your inner child just completely came out at the beginning of the video. Just level of excitement. Alright? And the funny thing is, the message that you're going to deliver, it's one that's seeming excited would seem malicious in nature if you weren't able to understand the context. Like, I don't doubt how much you've been through in your life. You know, I understand everybody's had their own battles and their own trials and tribulations. And ultimately, even those of us that want to make the most meticulous of plans and try to stay the course end up going ahead and having unexpected curveballs go ahead and just, even for just a little bit, just knock us off kilter, Uh, Especially me, you know? I was gonna say even me, and I'm like, you can't even say even me in that situation. You gotta say especially me. Like, but I could tell it was one of those situations of your inner child getting excited that justice is able to get to prevail. Like, I don't know how to explain, but I could tell the amount of inner child healing that you've been working through. And in that aspect, it ended up being so prominent. But at the same time, too, I need to point out something else. Something else that if nobody else were to pick up on, I picked up on. All right? Your inner child is really shy. Like, really shy. Like, bashful and shy. But it's really sweet. Like, all right. One thing that you ended up doing that surprisingly you don't do in many videos. Like, you were fidgeting around with all of your rings on the right hand. All right? Now, the body language that you were doing with it wasn't at a pace of anxiety. It was slower than that, you know? And the funny thing is, to me, what I ended up catching from that was kind of your inner child being like, okay, I'll calm down, you know? But pretty much at the beginning of the video, that right at the beginning, all right, the level of excitement, your inner child was like, you can see me, and also a little bit like, you know, yeah, don't let him get away with this. I can only imagine how colorful your internal world is. I just have to say, that that just piqued my curiosity. Don't get me wrong. There were already things about you that I was already able to understand. Like, you could learn from the most unexpected of sources. Like, definitively, that was what I felt like the nature of the dynamic between me and you is. Because I think automatically, too, that you thought that I didn't take you seriously, but I do. I actually do. And it wasn't one of those, like, battle of, pride and, you know, well, resistance. It was one of those needing to find the fine tuning points of, okay, how could this dynamic blend in a healthier, more equivalent power exchange where nobody's giving away their power, you know? but going ahead and being like, hey, my observation noticed this. This might be able to help serve you better. You know, I'm not saying it's useless to me. I'm saying it could have a more profound gravity to you than it could to me if brought to your attention. So there was already, as I view it, a mutual, you know, boundary driven, guided exchange, you know? Well, at the same time, very cautious on both our ends, like on your end and my end, too. Because I don't know if you could tell, but for quite a bit, for me, it was like, I set these boundaries for a reason. I don't think you understand truly how necessary these boundaries are. Ultimately, if you can't respect boundaries, manipulation hates boundaries. So obviously that means you're going and attempting to manipulate me. You know? While at the same time, because of the, I guess, lack of, announcement, it was one of those having to guard up for a second of like, what form of manipulation are you presenting? Do you come with good intentions or do you come with malicious ones? I just have to say, I could tell how seriously you're taking your inner child healing journey. And the factor at that moment, at the beginning of that video, that joy, that excitement, that came from an internal place that was capable of being able to embrace the beauty in the world. The one that reality tends to little by little chills away from when getting to see how dark it could really be. You know, and how one of the greatest evils really can be just human selfishness, you know? Just the gimmies, just the I want it my way, I want it my way, I want it the way that I want it. I want it when I want it, you know? At the beginning of that video, that I just wanted to bring it to your attention, the factor that for anybody that's able to truly see through, your inner child just really showed. It was kind of like if you've ever seen that movie Hook, you know? It was kind of like when Peter Pan, as an adult, was like, what are you doing? When he thinks he's everyone's imagining eating, but then he ends up breaking through and he ends up seeing the entire feast just spread out right in front of him and being like, all of this was right under my nose and I wasn't even able to see it. I wasn't able to notice it. That's progress. Like, that is an immense amount of progress. Like, I'm not saying you weren't taking your journey seriously. If anything, I can tell you very much so taking your journey seriously. But I think you were able to just see the actual excitement and the beauty behind the parts that aren't able to be seen. That's a breakthrough. Like, that's a legitimate breakthrough. Like, I hope you know you should be proud. Like, if nobody else tells you that they're proud of you, I gotta say, like, I'm proud of you for that. Like, I don't know how much it actually means coming from me or not, but I just have to say that is probably one of the most difficult steps, really, to be able to take when working through trauma. Like, that's no small feat. Like, that right there was you conquered an internal mountain. So, I just wanted to give credit where credit was due.